So as I was playing tennis, school wasn't on my priority list. I started very late playing tennis, but I wanted to catch up with everybody. So I would stay and train twice as long than everybody else. I would run twice as far. I would just do double the work.
You're just born with this desire.
I wanted to be better. I wanted to be the best. So I looked at these guys that were my age, how much better they were, and I said, you know what? No, I need to do double the work to reach that level.
How old was you there?
I was 12,
and so
13.
with this mindset.
Yeah. But also, I think tennis. Successful tennis players typically they start at 4 or 5 years old. So when I was playing with kids at 12, they were so much better than me, and I just needed to catch up. Right. So I had that inside me, and I would train extra hard, which probably was the reason why my body couldn't keep up and my knee would end up giving out so early. Right. But it's okay. It gave me some travel. I met a lot of cool people, and then it was just okay. Now it's time to work. I was a young guy, and I needed to make a living. So for sure. Fortunately, my father, he had a restaurant, which it's great, but it's also very tough because in our culture,
what type of food?
It's the restaurant was called Montenegro, and it was in Stockholm, right. And the food was from Montenegro.
Great.
So Mediterranean food, and it was hard work. We got nothing handed to us. It was.
And so you stopped tennis to start work.
Yeah,
after
exactly.
you injured. And how old was you when you start work?
I was 16, 17. Yeah.
You started working full time.
Yeah, that's it. I was done with sports, and I just.
What about school? Also,
I was done with school too.
So you at a very early age, you drop out of school, you start working.
Yeah.
And how was that experience?
It was good. It was great.
That was the seed to what you are doing right now. I had no idea that there was such a rich story behind the Mio that we know right now, right?
Okay. Yeah, it was. I always had a dream as a young kid, like, I wanted to own a nightclub for some reason. That was like a thing. And I told my dad. My dad was preparing to retire, and I said, okay, you're gonna retire, because he said, okay, I'm gonna retire. I'm gonna leave this restaurant for you. This will be yours. And I said, that's cool, but I will sell it, and I'm going to open a nightclub.
And you told him that?
Yeah. He goes, no, you can't do that. I said, that's what I'm going to do, And he said, you can't do that. It's not smart. I said, that's what I want to do. My father was, my parents both, are very, very hardworking people. They had their restaurant for 30 years and did very well for themselves. So, but that was always sort of a dream of mine. And then one day I woke up, I was around 21. I was ready to take over the business. I was very good at it. But my dad was ready to retire. Right. But I woke up one day and said, man, I missed my young days. I missed my childhood, my childhood, my teenage years. I didn't enjoy my friends the way everybody else did.
Because he was working.
I was always working, And I wanted to change that. So the opportunity that I found was, hey, I'll go to college and study for 4 years and enjoy my life. Right. I can always work, so it's almost like taking a break and kind of trying to relive the youth a little bit. So I had this motivation to really go to school. And where else than the U.S., it was the best. So I wanted to go to the U.S. I actually went to a huge seminar where they had a bunch of universities from all over the world. And they had like these little stands, and I saw the skyline of New York, and I was like, oh, that's it. That's where I'm gonna go. I didn't spend that much time in New York initially. I went there, and it was cool. It was great, actually. It was very cool, but very cold. Very cold. And I try to get away from the cold.
Montenegro is cold?
No. Montenegro is not cold, and Sweden is cold. So I wanted to get away from that. Right. So I traveled to California to visit my friends, and it was in the middle of winter. Right. And I noticed this amazing climate. So I said, you know what? This is much better for me. I'd rather come here. And we're actually driving around in Malibu, me and my friend. And we passed what I thought was a huge golf club, for example. And I said, man, that's one of the most amazing properties I've seen. Let's go check it out. Right. So we pull up, and it's this university called Pepperdine University, a very
famous.
Yeah,
beautiful.
And we went in, and I fell in love. I said, wow, this is the most amazing university there is. This is where I need to go to school. And my friend was like, oh, man, you're crazy. You have to pass so many tests, and you have to get amazing grades to be able to get accepted here. So I met with the international dean, and he said...
On the same day?
On the same day, yeah. I went, I found his office, I knocked on the door. It was a very cool guy. We got along great. And he gave me a path of what I needed to complete in order to be accepted in the school, and which grades I needed to accomplish. So he told me to go to Santa Monica College, which I did. And I completed all of the tasks that he told me and all the classes, and got the great grades. So he accepted me.
And what do you study there?
I studied international business.
International
business, and graduated with 3.6 GPA. That's not bad.
Not bad. Not bad.
And I did extra courses to do it faster because school was kind of easy for me.
And you was also doing school and work on the same time.
Absolutely, yeah. I had to support myself, so I was working in nightclubs there too. And then when I graduated school, the job market was kind of tough. So I actually ended up moving back to New York because I wanted to try the big city again with a degree this time. Right. And unfortunately, I couldn't get a job with my degree. It didn't matter. You go into interviews and people are like, okay, I have no experience, see you later. So I couldn't get a foot in the door, and I didn't have a wide enough network to get myself a chance. So I continued in the nightclubs, and I stayed there for about another year. Then I ended up moving back to California. So when you move from coast to coast here in the U.S., you essentially start from zero again.
Yeah.
Whatever you have, you start over. And that's what I did a few times, which, I guess that makes you stronger.